Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my annual unhaul video. I do one every June, and I think it's very appropriate that right now it is pouring rain. It's like a funeral for these books. A lot of these are popular, but I tend to get rid of books that I know I either didn't enjoy, I won't reread, or I think maybe other people will enjoy because I do tend to donate them at the library. I don't know when I will do that this year, but you know, eventually they will get out of this place because I don't have that much space left on my shelves, and I am removing 40 something books, which is one of my biggest ones. I don't know what happened because I usually only unhaul books that I have read, but some of these, actually a lot of these, are series that I might have not read the whole thing and I'm not planning on it, so I got rid of a bunch in one go. I don't know why I'm struggling to talk today. You can even see some of them are there, some of them are on the floor. I am surrounded by books that are being rejected. What is it on Tinder when you say no? Is it swipe right or swipe left? I'm doing the X. Let's start with 5 books in one go because let's be real, we all knew this was eventually going to happen. The Throne of Glass series. I had gotten the first book, I think, from a library sale, and then my friend gave me the rest of the series because she thought I would hate it. And I'm just admitting to myself it's not gonna happen. I had a lot of fun bashing the first book. I did a vlog reading it and just mentioning every single quote I had issues with. It was fun. I tried to do the same thing with the second one. Didn't really work out because nothing really happens. I'm currently not done. I'm not even sure if I will finish it or not. We'll see, probably not. But yes, I'm not having fun with it. So like, you know, if I had been able to bash all of them and have fun with it, maybe I would have continued, but I don't understand why everyone keeps justifying the fact that you have to read 5 books, or how many? 7, whatever. You have to read like most of the series to start enjoying it. I don't work that way. I can't do this. It's too much commitment. I can't. So bye-bye. I'll keep one right here so we can remember what I'm unhauling, but we're already at 5. Let's continue with a series that is very popular. The Raven Boys. Look, I tried. Last summer, I read the first 3, and I enjoyed some. I didn't hate the whole thing, let's be real, but I felt like the story was not going anywhere. I really enjoy the characters, I just don't care about the story, like, at all. I actually would have preferred if the story was following her family, like a Blue's family, because they're really cool witches, and I don't care about that whatever king, the Lost King. So I never actually got around to reading the last one. A lot of people were saying that the 4th book kind of sucks. So like, why? So officially DNFing the whole series, it's not gonna happen. I don't care anymore. And I know everyone loves them. And I actually love the characters once again. So it's like, I have a complicated relationship with a lot of really popular YA books on the booktube because I feel like people rave about them because of the characters. I kind of feel a bit the same with the Six of Crow trilogy, which almost made it in here. Because again, I like the characters, but I don't care about where the story is. And I'm usually more of a action-driven person than character-driven. There are obviously a bunch of exceptions, but not worth it for me to keep it. Let's just name all of the ones that fit in that category. I'm getting rid of Red Queen, and then the second book, which is Glass Sword. And I actually didn't mind Red Queen. I feel like it was fine. I understand why a lot of people felt that it was very repetitive from all of the usual classic dystopian world. I agree, but I thought it was still fine. It's just that I have felt no need to continue in how many years, like 2-3 years at this point. It's not gonna happen. It's okay. I would rather just keep this okay memory of this than forcing myself and ending up, you know, resenting the whole thing. So another one that's going bye-bye. Speaking of bye-bye, Cinder and the 2 next books in that series. Cinder was fine. It was one of the first books I've actually read when I started BookTube 3 years ago. And I feel like a bunch of the books that I read in that first, 2-3 months, I gave them higher ratings than I would have if I had read them like now. And I think that's really the case with this one. I feel like it's one of those books that, when I say a lot of YA books feel like there's a bunch of fluff and nothing happens, and like the writing is pretty big, there's a bunch of just space in there. It's not really a thick book. And I remember as a teenager going for like the thick books and being like, yes, there's gonna be a bunch in there. And I feel lied to, when I read them after. So yes, I had read this, it was fine, just nothing great. And I don't think I would enjoy it if I were to reread it now. And I did attempt to read the second book, which is Scarlet, and never got past the first, I don't know, like not even 50 pages. Oh, see, there's still the paper there. I'd never got past page 22. So I read the first 2 chapters and gave up. That says it all. And then I never got around to book 3. So I'm just gonna unhaul them and just give them to my library. I'm sure someone will find them, enjoy them more than I did or would. I think this is the last one in that category of popular YA books that I got when I started watching BookTube, and I'm finally giving up on them. And it is the Shatter Me series, which I have 2 of the books and then the novella, which, you know, they're all going bye-bye, but let's talk about Shatter Me. I read it and didn't really like it. I think the part I hated the most was the fact that there was a bunch of like sentences that are crossed, like the character, and like, actually the character is such a freaking stereotype, and I just didn't enjoy it. So why would I continue? It just felt like it was going in a direction that I would really hate. So no torturing in 2020. This one isn't as popular on BookTube, but I did read the first book of this. I think it's a trilogy, but I only have the first 2 books after watching BookTube, and it is Angel Fall, and then the next one that I never read was World After, which again is a YA fantasy series that someone else will pick up and be very happy to read. Like, I feel like some teenagers will. All I remember, it's like end of the world with like angels not being good people, and it seems like it was going in a direction of a love story between an average teenage girl and an angel, which I'm so over that phase. So I think it's okay to admit that it's not doing it for me. I mean, I'm already not big on romance, so those very cliche ones, which I know some people really enjoy, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just me, I get secondhand embarrassment very easily, and this makes me cringe. So no, someone else will love it though. Now, I have a bunch of, I think they're all adults, but's left. I have a bunch of Stephen King, but not really, more like his son. So I'm getting rid of Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King. It's a very interesting concept, but I will never reread this. It's a very big book. Someone else will be very happy to get it from my library for $1. This is a dystopian world where, post-apocalyptic book, there's a disease that starts affecting women. It puts them to sleep. They kind of create this cocoon, and if you try and wake them up, they kill you and they go back to sleep. It's, again, interesting concept. There is one of my most hated characters of all time, Don Peters, which is such a piece of... It was fun to hate, but there are just too many characters in here. The story dragged and the ending was not very satisfying, so I don't want this on my shelf. That's the reason for all of these unhauling things, right? Okay, and I'm also unhauling 2 of the books that I have from Joe Hill. I think those are the only ones that I have by him. Didn't enjoy Nosferatu. Why is this a thing? I know there's a TV show. I will not even try. It took me so long to go through it. I had to like try and read the audiobook, listen to the audiobook to try and push through. Could not do it. Horror, Christmas, children being it made no sense. I didn't care. Bye. The Fireman is not a bad book, but once again, it's not something I will ever reread. I've already included this in a video talking about post-apocalyptic books. Like, why else do I need to like hold on to this? It takes a lot of space once again. I just don't care enough about it. Like, there were some really good scenes in there, but then some meh, and it again dragged on a bit. Disease that affects people that kind of starts a fire inside of them. That's how I'm going to describe it. And yeah, yeah. I did mention I was going to keep this book forever because I'm a very petty person, but again, 2020, Emily, we are growth. Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I hate this book. It could have been a fantastic thriller of a creep being a creep, but no, it had to be a romance, and it's categorized as adult. It reads like a YA, and two friends are working together in an office. They send each other emails, and this IT dude that is so hot apparently reads the emails, and instead of, giving them a warning because they're using words and everything that they shouldn't be using, that's how, the emails are being flagged, he just decides to start falling in love with one of them and to approach her, and she thinks it's totally fine. How is that not a thriller? It is. I just resent its existence, so gotta let go of the negative stuff, right? So Bye-bye. This one is gonna hurt a few people. I'm sorry, but not really. Donna Tartt, not doing it for me. I read both of these. I read Secret History, and then I read The Goldfinch. I much prefer The Secret History. I just don't really care enough about these to keep them, and these are on a shelf that is really full because I have like a shelf that is like other, like basically historical fiction, literary fiction, contemporary romance. I don't really have any, but like, you know, that section that I don't read a lot of. And it's full and it's taking space. I didn't really care for them, and I just, to be honest, I just don't get the hype with these. The writing was pretty. Again, this wasn't bad. I just really resent this one. So my reasoning is that someone else will find it for $1 and be very, very happy. And I want to be part of that, you know? Some classics that I don't want to keep because once again, I only have one shelf for classics, and 2 I've read this year. The first one was Wuthering Heights, which I thought I was going to love this. Everyone raves about this. So many people are saying that this is like the best book they've ever read, that is a classic or like a great romance, which is wrong with you. I did enjoy the whole like gothic feel. Like there are some good parts in here. It's just that I had very high expectations probably, and it's just not, it was fine. It's just not one of my favorite books. And again, someone else will be happy to find it. So same thing with this one. This is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I didn't really care for it. The writing was really beautiful. I'll give her that for sure. I do want to read more by her, but I understand the messages. I appreciate those, but it's just not something I loved. You know, I didn't enjoy myself reading it, which is how I read my books usually, and it's not something I will ever reread. So making some space. Same thing with Jane Eyre. I know. Again, people saying that's such a romantic book, and I again question your sanity because why? There are like 2 romances in here. The second one, I guess people don't count it. No. And Mr. Rochester, really? Like, I like the beginning. Jane is great. Her, you know, childhood and whatever was fine. But how is that romantic? Like, I know I'm not a big romance person, but really? I mean, obviously everyone is allowed to like whatever they like, but how is that a good, like, at least Pride and Prejudice, like, I can see the romantic, you know, hate to love. I get that. This, really? Oh, I lied. There was one more YA book. The Remedy. This was also one of the first books that I've read when I started BookTube. I enjoyed it actually kind of fine. I thought I was going to continue. I just never got around to it. So I don't really need to keep it. I might continue one day. Might, if I find like the next book in a library sale, I might pick it up just for fun. But it's kind of a dystopian world where to help people with grief, they kind of create like this person just takes their place until the parents are better type of thing, or like, it's weird, but it wasn't bad. It was like, I enjoyed it at the time. I don't know how I would feel about it now. Ooh, are you ready? This one is going to hurt. I tried. I've really tried. I've been reading a bunch of books that are really popular, and I feel like it's been almost 50-50 and this was a miss for me. I know everyone says it's so funny, and maybe it's just that I don't get British humor. Maybe it's just not funny. I have yet to watch a TV show. I kind of don't really want to because I didn't really enjoy it. People are saying it's better. I don't know, but yeah. This read like a child book, like a children's book, but with some jokes. Like, out of context, they're fine. It's just that reading it, I was just not enjoying myself. Again, that's the thing. So why keep it on my shelf if it doesn't bring me joy? Same thing with The Passage by Justin Cronin. This is a post-apocalyptic book. It felt like I was reading a whole trilogy in one book, and it is the first book in a trilogy, so I don't even know where this is going. I have no interest in continuing. I did it, but no. World War Z, another post-apocalyptic book. I feel like I did my video talking about a bunch of them, and now I'm like ready to move on. A lot of people say to go through this as an audiobook, which I think would be the right choice because it is written like interview style, which probably would have made me enjoy it more. It's a very, like, what's the word? I have army in my mind. Like military post-apocalyptic book. So if that's your jam, you might enjoy it more than I did. It just got too long for me. So again, I think the audiobook might have been a better way to go through it. I had told myself I would attempted that way. Never got around to it, probably never will, but someone will be happy to find it. Officially DNFing this because that's just not gonna happen. This is Thinking Fast and Slow, which is a nonfiction about 2 different ways to think. It just got so very long and boring. It's so highly raved about and I can't stand it. I couldn't finish it. I was not enjoying myself. I feel like this whole thing could have been reduced to like a very, very small book. It felt like it was repeating itself. It felt like I was stuck in a class that bored me to death. And yeah, is it where I stopped at chapter 10? Did I just go through 100 pages? I thought I read more than that, maybe not. It's not gonna happen. We're just letting go. The Binti trilogy, it's fine. I feel like there's a lot of hype behind it and there are some really interesting concepts in this sci-fi, but I just don't love it. So someone else will find the trilogy, be very happy to just binge read the whole thing. And then last but definitely not least, Game of Thrones. This one is back because I had done the flip, the books that you've read challenge. I read the first book. I stopped midpoint, I think, of the second book. It just was too similar to a TV show. I enjoyed a TV show except the last season because F me. I will never read the whole thing at this point. I'm so annoyed by so many things. So someone else, once again, will find it and hopefully enjoy it more than I did because it's just, no. Wow, that's a lot of books. It's gonna give me a bit of space on my shelf, which eventually I will fill back with hauls whenever I am able to finally buy books again. How badly do you want to go book shopping? Because I really want to go to a library sale and I don't know when I will get to do that again, which sucks. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. Feel free to support me in the comment section, letting me know that I am doing the right thing, getting rid of all those books that do not bring me joy. Or you can just tell me I'm horrible for not liking them. I know some people enjoy doing that every time. Thumbs up, subscribe. You definitely don't want to miss out on future videos, and I will be putting some on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I shall see you in my next video very soon. Bye.